From self-care to yoga classes to Lululemon, why is wellness so white? If you're at all into the fitness and wellness space, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and y'all know that white women have the game on lock. They're constantly updating us on the trends, giving us tips, and really showing us what this whole taking care of yourself looks like. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just pull out any form of social media, search any type of fitness and wellness, and you'll probably see mostly white women pop up and maybe a sprinkle of people of color. And because it's so heavily dominated by white women, it's almost like you can't throw on a cute workout set and go to a bougie workout class without somehow assimilating white culture. Does hitting up Air One for a green smoothie make you any less black? Obviously the answer to that is no, but sometimes when you're a part of these spaces, it can feel that way. So let's talk about why that is. Wellness was never meant for black people because society isn't built for us to be well. As black people, the system has always been made for us to fail. Systemic racism trickles into our communities, our daily lives, and of course our health and wellness. Many of our communities lack the resources for proper nutrition, i.e. food deserts, and they don't have much illustration of the many forms of fitness out there, the many ways you can get your body moving. And just think about this, at a young age, there's mainly two sports that I can think about in my black community: football and basketball. And if you weren't in those, then you just weren't. Systemic racism also plays a role in our education, leading to lower paying jobs with less time to dedicate and think about health and wellness. And when you're constantly seeing people like you harmed on social media, you think in terms of survival, not self-care. Now, you might think I'm getting a little bit too deep. I'm gonna push back and say that I'm absolutely not. It's all connected, and it's hard to talk about this topic without getting to the root of the problem. White people have had the luxury of being born into higher social classes that allow them to have the time to explore therapy and wellness and everything that's out there and really make the space their own. Us black people do not have that same luxury. In the beginning of this video, I asked why yoga and self-care and Lulu and wellness in general is so white, and it's because of how society has set it up. But slowly and surely, black people are stepping into this space. So how do we continue making it our own? First of all, building community. There's black yoga collectives all over the country. There's black women pilates groups. There's black alkaline vegan groups, and so many others. And although there is a true lack of representation in this industry, it's really up to us to come together and make it our own, because best believe there's a black person in every single form and pivot and crack of wellness you can think of. It's just about us coming together and really showing up and showing out for each other. Second of all, take up space. Do not be afraid to go into rooms just because there isn't somebody that looks like you. You may at first be uncomfortable, but you taking that step will inspire the next person to do it, and so on and so forth. So thirdly, explore many forms of health and wellness, and don't get fixated just on what you see on social media. Like, just because they're pushing $50 yoga classes down our throats does not mean that's the only form of fitness out there. And let's not forget, a lot of what fitness and wellness practices are stem from the Eastern world. So do not forget that health and wellness does not have to look at all in one way. And lastly, and this one might ruffle a few feathers, but as black people, we need to stop projecting stereotypes on each other. Just because somebody decided to eat a few extra greens or work out a little bit longer does not mean that they're acting white. Taking care of yourself should not be something that's excluded from the black community. If anything, we need to lean into it, and instead of calling that person white, maybe try to learn a thing or two from them. And to my white friends, being aware of this bias is already a huge thing, but when you see a person of color, a black person in a room, make sure you're making them comfortable. Make sure there aren't weird things being thrown out there by fitness instructors and teachers, etc. And trust me, I've definitely seen a few of them. So use your privilege for good and just make space and make room. And that's really it, y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I just wanted to give space and start this conversation, and I wanted to hear what y'all got to say. Like, how do you view health and wellness when it's mostly whitewashed and white people in the space. Like, how does that make you feel? Comment anything down below. Maybe you don't see that. Maybe you think that black people are there and present and I'm just missing something. Let me know. Make sure you like this video. Again, comment anything, and of course subscribe. Why wouldn't you subscribe, honey? You just listen to me rant. We're friends. Subscribe. Okay, thank y'all so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.